Of course I'm right. When have I been wrong? Oh, f*** you. Hi, everybody. It's Lisa Lampanelli. Welcome back to the podcast that keeps on giving till it hurts and not till it helps. Lisa Lampanelli, Shrink This. How's everybody doing? Good. Love to hear that. We're here today with a very special episode. Sadly, there's no Nick. Celia, how do you feel about... Are you so sad?
No, I feel like I'm going to be bullied a little bit less.
You will be bullied less. And you know what's wild? Instead, because Nick doesn't care about us right now this week, I have my friend Andrew Ginsburg, who I've talked about very much on the show. As I mentioned you are my favorite Jew. And I will say it is happily we are taping on International Holocaust Remembrance Day. So it's a good Jew coincidence.
Yeah, no, there's no one more Jewy than me. So
that
this
is absolutely
perfect.
true. I always say my Jewish friend Andrew, but I should just say my friend Andrew Ginsburg because Ginsburg is a very Jewish name.
Yeah, it doesn't get more Jewish.
No, and I also wore my second favorite Jew on my shirt, Bernie Sanders. I'm not a full-on socialist, but just him scowling makes me laugh. So we are here having Andrew. And by the way, Nick is a, quote, personal trainer. Now we have someone in the studio who's a personal trainer, but actually looks like one because you're not girthy and large and have big tits. So congratulations.
Thank you. I don't have the personality, though. He has the personality.
Oh, big deal. Oh, is this the let's kiss Nick's ass because you feel guilty for warming his chair? It's okay. Don't worry. I decided to have you on because we talk a lot on this show about self-discovery and figuring out what's right for you. And I thought we should do an episode on quitting things because I've said before on the podcast, quitting is my superpower. And I think I always know when to go, whether it's from a marriage, from a house, from a town, from a job, from a career. And I don't think people know that it's okay to quit. They think quitting is a negative term. I happen to think it's a very healthy term. And before we get into the subject, someone who I wish would quit is also here. Celia, say hello once again.
Wow.
I like it. It's we know she can take a joke, and her tell for not being able to take a joke is she turns really red. So I think you're white.
Not red.
No,
Yeah.
You're white right now.
Yeah, no, I'm
yeah.
not red.
You're just whitey.
That didn't hit me hard enough. That wasn't like...
Because it's not true.
Yeah, and
we
also,
freaking
like...
love you. When Stephanie filled in, we wanted to kill ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Don't
Love
do my
you,
girl
Stephanie.
like that.
No, don't do my girl like that. You turned into a drag queen or a black person when you just said, "Don't do my girl like that."
Oh no, I'm not trying to impersonate either because who knows where that'll get you these days.
Oh boy, you are a font of goodness. Okay, so anyway, quitting. The reason I thought about you, Andrew Ginsburg, who, by the way, I will say, please pre-order his new children's book. It is on Amazon. It's coming out April 7th, but pre-order it. It's called The Colors of My Sky. It's for K through third grade, but I will say, I read it. I'm a really good reader. And I was very touched by it. I thought it was adorable. It was really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I thought of you because to me, leaving something when you know it's wrong for you is a great thing to do. It is not negative. It is powerful. So tell us a little about how you end up in the position of this children's book writer opposed to what you used to do, which is what?
Stand-up comic.
And there was no one, and I tell you, no one who was less likable on that stage than you.
Thank you.
Now, you were lovable in real life. Look at you. You're a mountain of a man, very handsome. Well, by the way, though, when Nick and Bo, my friend Nick, as you know him, Pudgy from the podcast, and also our friend Bo, told me, wow, we know this guy Ginsburg. He's fantastic. He's a great guy. You're going to love him. We start hanging out. They go, he's a 10 when it comes to looks. Well, I may have just more harsh judgment. I give you a 6.
Yeah.
You may have worked your way up to a 6.5 because I have love for you as a friend now. But what do you put yourself on the level as far as looks go? You have terrible self-esteem.
Terrible.
What would you say objectively you are?
I started putting gel in my hair this year at 46 years old.
Wow.
And I think now I'm a solid 7.
Oh, Don't get fancy. Don't get it conceited. Maybe, okay, so you think the gel bumped you up.
I do. The hair used to be a big mess. I had this big mop of a head, and it would stick up, and I finally put it down with some gel. I think it bumped me up half a point.
I think maybe our listeners will weigh in on your appearance. It's fine. I mean, it's better than Nick.
I mean,
Come on. Yes. But who am I to judge? Anyway, so we meet because my friends say Andrew Ginsburg, great guy, funny guy, and we start hanging out. And so then I started going to your guys' show, give you notes. I had nothing to do at the time. There was no podcast, no coaching, no nothing. I was like, I'm going to go watch these guys. And I remember I always thought your jokes were well written, but I'm like, why don't people like him? Because you're a lovable guy. In real life, you're one of my favorite people. You're one of my best friends. So I'm like, why don't they like him? And I think one day I was like, how do you tell someone that it's just not translating? So what do you remember about that time period?
Exactly what you just said. I was always a writer a writer doing stand-up. I liked writing the jokes. I didn't love performing, and it came out that way.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable. I didn't like being up late at night.
Yeah.
I just like writing the jokes. I thought my writing would get me far. And if they want writing, they'll read a book.
Yeah, that's true. So when I would say things like, we tried different things, remember? Like for a while, I was like, well, just try, what was it, wearing a collared shirt. Because you were wearing T-shirts, so you look like too buff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe the men don't like you because like you're threatening looking to their women. I don't know. I was like, wear a button-down shirt. It'll elevate it. What else did we try? Sitting down because you're so freaking tall.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Yeah, that's off-putting because you know what it was? Because you had to lean over. You almost hunched. I was like, well, if you sit, you'll look more relaxed. You won't look as stiff. And we tried that. And then what really made you go, fuck this, we're done?
Leaving my kids at night and reading. I was reading books to them at we called book party. Every night I read 2 books, 7:30, 7
Right.
o'clock. That's when the shows are.
Right.
Now I'm going to go tell my Jew riddles.
Yeah,
as
he
Nick
would call
calls them.
his jokes Jew riddles.
Yeah, because they were one-liners. They didn't really give you anything. I'd do 60 of them in a 30-minute set. It was
Right.
just lined up after another. And I'm like, I'm going to go do my little Jew riddles to strangers when I could read books to my kids.
Right.
And, the kids get a lot more out of it than the audience is.
Yeah.
And so do I. It just didn't fit. It wasn't serving me anymore.
Yeah.
I said, why am I doing this? And I stopped.
Had it ever served you? What do you think it did for you? And was there always something gnawing inside of like, I don't think this fits, but I have to keep with it?
Yeah, the guy that helped me in Boston, Teddy Bergeron, gave me some confidence and taught me the ropes a little bit. And, I moved to New York. I felt like I should keep it up because Teddy thought I had potential.
Right. So shoulds, there's a lot of, it's like whenever we're told we should do something.
Yeah.
Was there also, if you look back now, a want from the inside? Was it, I really want to do this. I really love this.
I wanted to, there was 2 things I wanted when I moved to New York to do stand-up. I wanted the picture outside Caroline's
You
because
could have done that as just a tourist.
that's true.
Oh, no, your picture
No,
hanging
my picture,
up.
my poster outside
Okay.
Caroline's because I lived in Midtown. I would walk by, I'd see your poster, I'd see Jim Norton, I'd see Paul Mooney, Dick Gregory,
Right.
and I really wanted to be that. That was what I wanted when I was 25, and I auditioned for Lewis, and he liked me. And
Louis Ferrando was the legendary booker at Caroline's. And I always wonder because you were like, Louis really likes me and Louis is gay. And secretly I was like, Louis just wants to fuck you. Like he's not going to try to because he's a gentleman and you're married. He's never going to do anything like that. But part of me was like, he's dazzled by you, your looks.
I mean, I was doing single material then because I was single, and that was slightly more likable than
Yeah.
marriage and kids material. I think
Right.
because it was more relatable to the younger people. But
Right.
eventually I did get the poster outside Caroline's.
Right, right.
And that was a good moment for ego. But what I was doing up on stage was not special by any means, and I knew that. It felt uncomfortable. And the other thing I wanted to do was perform stand-up on television. I did a stand-up contest on The View. It's not late night, but it's close enough.
Oh my God! Did you win?
No. How would I win?
Do you remember who you lost to?
I don't remember his name, but
yeah, he's probably a nobody anyway.
Yeah, he was funnier than me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because I remember there was a moment that I was like, oh, he's gonna be able to hear from me that he can quit once you said one thing at the diner. Like, I was like, I'm not going to tell him to quit, but I bet I see an opening now. We were sitting there talking about comedy, and Bo was struggling with writing some stuff and didn't know if he should write more serious stuff about recovery because he's sober and what to do. And he goes, I just love it. I mean, it's just like, I love doing it. I love it so much. And he goes, Andrew, come on. When's the first time you remember really loving comedy? And you were like, never.
Never, not once.
Yeah.
I dreaded it. I dreaded every single show. I wasn't looking forward to it. I did it because I felt obligated to in some weird way. And, it would feel good sometimes after if the set went well, and horrific if it didn't. But before, I dreaded it. Not one show was I like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Like, so when you look back on it, and you've had a lot of therapy, and I think that's great, what do you really think was driving staying in something that doesn't fit?
Not wanting to quit, not wanting to look myself in the eye and say, I failed. Not being not looking at reality and saying, the shoes don't fit. And I just thought I could keep going. I thought it was like anything. If you keep working at it, you'll get there.
Which is, by the way, no shade that you would think that, because that's what we have drummed into our head. It's just not true.
Yeah.
Like, I could try for the rest of my life to be the greatest painter in the world. It's not going to happen. Like, I don't have natural ability for it. So you picked something initially that wasn't the right fit. And then eventually it was like, oh, I have all this evidence mounting that this isn't correct for me.
Yeah, 25 years of evidence.
Yeah. So there was never, so you'd come off stage sometimes if it was half decent and you'd be like, okay, escaped by the skin of my teeth, that was fine. But there was never a, oh man, I can't wait. I would like, I would die before I would stop this. This is fun.
No.
There was no.
Can't wait to go home. Can't wait to go home. Can't wait to be in bed.
Right. I think that's, or I would say with the writing now, which sounds like a way more natural fit, because I think it's so obvious doors open when you start getting published. And like, it's like, oh, look at that. Like, something worked for me that I didn't have to kill myself for and feel like I didn't fit the job. Like, when you arguably be like, I could either be doing stand-up that I'm really not good at, but I'm forcing, I'd rather be home writing. Like,
exactly.
which there's more of a lightness, it sounds, around that other.
Yeah, I just wanted to be home writing. It's comfortable for me. Time goes by quickly with that. I look forward to it. I sit down to write it. I'm really excited. I never felt that way with stand-up. I liked writing the jokes. I'm like, oh, this is funny. This is clever. But that was it.
And also you liked hanging out, which I think a lot of the, if it was with friends, like it was friends shows, yeah. So it wasn't like you're like, can't wait to go do that open mic or that show here or there. But if it was like a bunch of pals, like, it just has a lightness. It's like, well, then just hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like, schedule a time to hang out. But I think, the idea that quitting is a failure is just not true. It's leaving something that isn't right for you anymore. And I think if it's a friendship, a marriage, a job, or whatever, like, you would fully say to someone else, yeah, you should just leave. But when it's ourselves, it's hard to kind of move forward on it.
Absolutely.
So I remember the last straw for you was you did a show.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Fairfield. Was this one that you supposedly headlined?
I was a headliner at the Fairfield Comedy Club.
I've busted balls all the time when people say headline. I always go, there's closers and there's headliners. Closers finish the show. They close the show and they have no name. Like, no one cares. Headliner is, it's a headliner. You go to see them. So you were closing the show in Fairfield, Connecticut. I think, did Bo and Nick do the show?
Bo and Nick did the show.
And Nick killed.
Yep.
Because he just has that natural thing.
He sure does.
Nick doesn't, I want him to have jokes, but he doesn't need them. He's so good with the crowd. He's off the cuff. Again, I push for him to do jokes because that's kind of how you get a special or on TV. You can't just do crowd work forever. Even I had to do that. So Nick, I think, destroyed that night. He did great.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo did fine, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Bo did well.
Yeah. And so you went up, and how did that feel?
It felt.
Wait, you had on the shirt. You had on the
had the blue
button-down shirt.
Yeah, I had no excuses. The buttons were all in. Buttons were correct, and I went up there and just wasn't getting laughs. The energy was way down from Bo and Nick. The order should have clearly been reversed.
Right.
It wasn't.
Right.
And I ate it up there. I really, and I just felt like, okay, this is the end. This is this marriage and kid stuff that I'm talking about with my Jew riddles. It's just not appealing to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy this. This doesn't feel good.
Yeah, because I remember we got in the car. We're like, oh, let's go to the diner. I was like, you could ride with me. Because I was like, oh, I see my opening. And this is back when I was a big advice giver without being asked, but I didn't care. Because I was like, I have to save him from this life of horror. And I think I was like, dude, you're wearing a 9.5 shoe and you're a 10. It just doesn't fit. And I think it was really calm and it was like quiet like that. It wasn't, what the fuck? And you're like, yep. And it was felt like that's how it landed for you. Is that how you remember it? Because it's a while back.
Exactly how it landed. It was really a funeral. It was a funeral. It was right after the show. It was, okay, it's time to bury this dream or nightmare or whatever you want to call it at that point.
Right.
And, let's start grieving.
Yeah. And what did it feel like internally? Feel like in your body? What did it feel like? What emotion came up for you?
Sadness. Spent a lot of years trying to do something, with shoes that didn't fit and a foot that was growing bigger.
Yeah.
It was necessary. And like anything that you quit, it's going to be painful. But it was necessary. I knew it was the right time. I knew this chapter was over.
So I give myself so much credit for waiting to the right time. Should I have said nothing? Maybe with somebody else. But you and I are close enough, and it was quiet, and I just saw that opening. So yeah, I'm not saying to everybody, go tell your friends to get divorced and quit their job. Wait till the moment, and maybe you don't say anything. But with you, I was just like, I think he's ready. Yeah. You almost have to know somebody's ready. It's like if somebody's in hospice, you should probably pull the plug if they ask you to. Like they know they're ready. Okay, smother them. This show is pro-euthanasia and killing people.
Yeah, I bottomed. That was my bottom, and it's time to go to the clinic.
Yeah. So what did it feel like in the days after you're like, yeah, this is actually done? Because how many years had it been? Like 20 years?
25.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot of years.
It's a lot. That's a lot of time to invest.
Yeah. But to be fair, I wasn't fully invested. I was not chasing down sets or running around the city. I was doing it leisurely, kind of half-ass, and it came off that way. But it was a big relief to be done. And then days following, like, great, never have to do that again.
So it felt like relief, again, much like someone who's been sick with cancer for 10 years and they finally pass. Yes, you're sad, but there is that sense of relief of like they're in a better place now. Like I really thought after you quit, I was like, oh, he's in a better place now.
Same.
Yeah.
And thank you for getting me there.
Hey, that's what I'm about, making people kill themselves. So is it then that you started? Because I remember we had talked about, I think you have something to say though. So we started working on a solo show about your upbringing. Was that right after that?
That was right after that.
Yeah.
It was a literal jump into something else. You definitely have something to say, but not in this format. And you geared me towards solo shows. And I remember I watched your show and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I know what my thing is. I emailed you. I said, my dad, my whole life, I've been trying to get my dad's approval. That's what my show would be if I was to do a show.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll help you with that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's what began that show, Self-Worthless.
That was fun to work on. I mean, it was heavy, but it was fun to do. It's a good project. Do you think then what helped soothe the ending of one thing was the gently beginning another thing?
Yeah. I was ready to continue being creative, but it needed to be the space needed to be available for something else.
That's right. It's like you have to. Something's always going to suffer if it doesn't have any room to grow. So yeah, got rid of one thing. Okay, but this seemed to me like the right fit because it was serious. It required good writing and discipline, which you could do. So it wasn't like I didn't feel it was medicating just with an activity. Because if you'd have come up with, look, man, now that I'm done with comedy, I'm just going to I decided I'm going to be an actor. I'm quitting my job. I'm going to go into the city every day on auditions. I would have been like, girl, you're just medicating. Like, what the fuck? No. So this felt right. And did you feel that show was more fulfilling and more of a natural fit for you?
Absolutely. Most fulfilling thing I've ever done. It was meaningful. People liked it, and it felt good. It was healing. It was a really deep show. And
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Did it help a lot with the dad stuff?
It did. I mean, so much of that was trying to win my dad's approval and a rough upbringing and putting it out there in those terms in front of an audience and, reflecting now on how I'm a father and I'm trying to do my best. It was incredibly healing and still is. It is.
It was good. And how did that feel performance-wise when you were up there physically versus stand-up? Like, what was the difference?
Much better, because I didn't have to get a laugh every 10 seconds. I was there to tell my story and give them something much deeper than my Jew riddles. There were no Jew riddles.
Right, there weren't. We wouldn't allow them.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, trying to be funny, stop it. But yet there were laughs. There were a lot of laughs.
Yeah, with stories, though. And obviously I saw that's a lot more powerful.
So I think it's like, this is probably what confuses me. Why someone would start stand-up of all things if, I'm not saying you're not a funny person, but that's not the quality that hits people over the head about you. You're a great guy. You're mildly amusing. You can talk very well. What made that the thing to grab onto?
I watched Carlin, and I just thought it was so cool. I thought it was really cool. It was the coolness of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool that asshole on Netflix climbed that building. Actually, I don't think that's cool, but I would never do it. So meaning, like, does any part of you think, okay, I know it can't be conscious. Hey, I don't have an aptitude for this, but I'm going to show people I can do the impossible.
Yes.
I could be the one unfunny Jew on the planet, and I'm going to make it work. Love me, Daddy. So was that part of it?
100%. And that one open mic I went to that I bombed, and for some reason that comic told me I had something. Had he not said anything, that would have been it.
Yeah.
I would have gone home. I would have said, oh, well, that's that. That's
like I tried.
Yeah, I tried. I give myself credit. I was up there for 2 horrible minutes. My left leg wouldn't stop shaking. And now it's over, and that's that. That's not for me. But this guy's like, you have something. And I'm like, ooh,
so
Dad's telling me I have something. He was like a father figure. He was a much older, very successful comic whose career didn't go as planned. But as far as talent-wise, he was somebody who I thought knew talent.
Yeah.
And he told me that, and I listened. I was like, I got to do this. Teddy says I have something. Teddy says I have something. And so I kept going 25 years.
And it's like, well,
thanks, Teddy.
We didn't lump in that Teddy's a raging fucking alcoholic. And we have to be careful who we listen to.
Yes.
Yes. And it's just like, oh, does that person have what we want? Well, I don't want an alcoholic life and doing, clubs. No, this is not. Like, I'll check my facts,
Yeah.
So it was a lot of approval based.
It was completely approval. It was Teddy's approval. And I watched him go up that night, and I said, oh my God, he's so good. He was so good.
Yeah.
And this guy thinks I have something. I gotta prove him right. So I kept going.
Did he just need rides? Because I've done that to people.
He gave me rides. He
wanted company.
Yeah, maybe he wanted company. He would let me open for him, and he'd give me jokes. He'd be like, "Say this, they'll love this."
Yeah,
this were my old jokes.
He liked you, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've glommed onto, or I've recruited openers who I was like, they've got a little something, but also like they'll be fun in the car.
Yeah.
So maybe some of it's the friendship part and the connection, which is no problem.
Yeah.
But when you would deep down as the years would go by and you'd put the head on the pillow at night, did part of you think, oh, this just isn't right for me? And then in the morning you just do it again, or did you just suppress that?
I felt that way, but I was personal training and I was dating and I was having fun. So it really wasn't. It was just like a little hobby. I treated it like that. I wasn't doing what was necessary to try to get somewhere.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, it's a cool thing. I'm cool. I'm meeting. I get girls out of this. The
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So it really wasn't such a point of turmoil. It was just like I knew I wasn't good because I would see other people. I'm like, oh, they're good. Wow, how's he do that?
Right.
I kind of knew my place, but I kept doing it because it's like, oh, this is kind of, again, this is cool.
And then how did the whole children's book stuff start? Because I know you mentioned it once that you'd written one book, and I think it was because, this is years ago, because, oh, I have a kid, I want to write a children's book. How did this end up like being the thing that you know you're drawn to and it took off?
I loved reading to my kids more than anything in the world. I had this client that I trained in the city who said, Andrew, if I can give you one piece of advice, she was a grandmother, phenomenal mother. She said, read a lot to your kids.
Aww.
So I took that to heart, and I did, and I started loving it. I love the intimacy of it. It's just so sweet, and you know, you're cuddling with a kid, and they're laughing, and it doesn't get more tender or meaningful. And I was reading one book one night to my kid, and I'm like, God, I could write something this bad.
Yeah,
It's
some of
so
them are
bad.
bad. Some
So
of them are
bad.
great. Some of them are bad.
Like Leo, my middle, would put it in. He'd say, "This is garbage," and we
Oh,
throw the
shit.
book quickly. Like,
Yeah.
he's garbage.
Right.
So I'm like, I want to write something. I think I could do something. The comedy taught me how to be succinct. There's 600 words in these books, so you have to use them wisely. And I thought I could do it, and I started trying, and it seemed to work.
It sounds then like that, trying that came from a very honest place and motivated by the right goal. Like, I'm going to entertain children. I'm going to entertain my kid. And then it ended up going, oh, this can entertain other kids because this publisher wants to put it out. So I think that's like, it's great. Yeah, we shouldn't need external validation for anything, but that sounds like it comes from the right kind of externals. It's not some drunk who wants you in a car because he can't drive himself or whatever. Yeah. It comes from someone who's like, oh, my kid likes it. Like, it has a sweetness to it. So did that just seem to be the activity of even doing it feels better?
It felt great.
Yeah.
I love children's books, and I love reading to kids, and writing a book would allow me to do that. Both of those things. Go to schools and read to kids, which I'll be doing this year. I'm excited about.
That's so cool.
And it's a very sweet way to spend my time. And I have no expectations of fame or fortune, but I do know that I'll be able to read to kids and hopefully make them laugh at these little things, and just give them something.
Yeah.
Something a lot more meaningful than Jew riddles.
Yeah, it does seem to have meaning to it.
Yeah.
Which I think. That's why even if nothing happens, even if this doesn't sell, you don't get the next one, it doesn't matter because there's a meaningful 2 years you've spent doing it.
Yeah. And it's right. My kids are young now. Will I want to do this in 10 years? I don't know. But right now, it's right. It feels right. I have no doubt in my mind that this is my path right now.
So there's no internal, I know we work a lot with the same therapist on, like, where do you feel it in your body kind of thing. There's no internal struggle about it. There's no
no, not at all.
No twinge.
No, just excitement and warmth. Yeah. This is something I know is right. It's not even a question in my mind. This is where I belong.
So what would you say to someone who's sort of going through the same thing of like, oh, I've been trying this thing forever, quitting equals failure. What would I do anyway? What would you say to them?
Take an honest look at your talent and also how it affects your life. And if it's causing you, dread and pain and suffering, get out of there. Don't stay in something. A lot of actors stay the course. I'm going to get my break. And they're 30 and they're 40 and they're 50 and they're 60. I'm going to get my break. And I think burying the ghost is a healthy thing.
Yeah. And just grieving what could have been.
Yeah.
You know, it's that death of a dream thing we talk about. It's like, oh, I dreamed I'd be, selling out Radio City or Madison Square Garden, whatever. Oh, that's kind of sad that didn't happen. I think grieving is like an important part of it. And I think you writing the solo show is what helped you in that grief.
Absolutely.
Because you did what was right for you, and the feelings of talking about it helped the show.
Yeah.
Wow. Andrew, tell us the name of the book again.
The Colors of My Sky.
And this is a very racist book, you say?
No, it's a it's a protest against racism and nationalism, but it's told with butterflies, and the stories it uses metaphor to
Gay. I'm just being
100%.
No, actually, it's not gay. It is gay enough. I love it.
Butterflies.
It's super fucking cute. And it's funny because when we were brainstorming the book at first, you had a black butterfly named Malik. I go, motherfucker, you can't fucking have a black butterfly named Malik. Let's not do that, okay?
Yeah,
So
no.
what ended up happening? Did we just not have a black
That was
one?
a great no. We do not have a black butterfly.
Good. So they're all weird colors that nobody is anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a white butterfly. Yeah. Dude, it's really cute. It's really good. It's I don't know. I find I do tear up a lot at children's books just because it's so sweet. This one I definitely do. So April 7th, but pre-order now on Amazon. It's cheap as fuck. How much are children's books?
Like $10.
Jesus Christ. Buy 4 for all your dumb kids. Wait, are you stupid? Celia just ordered 5. And she doesn't even have kids. She doesn't even get sperm in her, do you? Okay. Andrew, we have some letters from people who to quit or not to quit. That is the question. Oh, by the way, if you have a question for us, send it to shrinkthishow@gmail.com. And by the way, since Nick isn't here, and we always have to promote his dumb social media because all he does is say, yo, I'm Nick Scopes. You can find me at Uber Eats. Where can they find you, Andrew Ginsburg?
Oh, you can find this big Jew at Andrew Ginsburg with a U, like the judge, not the poet with the E. So Ginsburg with a U. There's actually another comic called Andrew Ginsburg with an E. So
don't follow that hack.
No, So with a U.
So Andrew GINSBURG.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Listen, I love how you assume our audience is smart enough to know Ginsburg was a poet and or a judge. They know neither. Our audience is stupid. Celia, where can everybody find you, girl?
My Instagram
is
Celia
__Romano, bitch.
Instagram, if you want to fix that and kick the other person off, that'd be great.
I will. And you can find Stephanie Lee, our former producer, at
Lane.
Whoa, I thought it was Stephanie Lee.
No, Nick kept messing up saying
I
Lee. And
should
was
never
like, no,
listen to
it's
him.
Lane.
Okay, STEPH something.
Lane
LAN.
_, I think.
Oh, fuck
Stephanie,
it. Who
if you're
cares?
hearing
She's not
us,
here anyway.
correct
Who
us.
cares? She's all dressed up today because Paris Hilton is taping in a different room. And I'm like, oh, you're dressed up for Paris Hilton? Then she tried to be all shifty and nice and go, no, it's for you too. Lying cunt. She looks like shit every other fucking time she comes in. No, you don't, Stephanie. Just kidding. Okay, Andrew, read us a letter.
Dear Lisa.
What?
I'm a 31-year-old stand-up comic who moved from New Hampshire to New York City about a year ago. Since then, I've auditioned at a few clubs, but have not been passed anywhere, and I'm doing mostly bar shows. I have 2 roommates who are stand-ups, and we have fun, but sometimes after a rough show, I think about quitting and moving back home. How do I know if I have what it takes to make it to the top, or if it's an unrealistic dream?
I don't know. That's hard because he's not really indicating he hates it or that he's not funny. So I think all these people have to start doing. The problem is no one slows down enough to feel into what they actually feel and want to do. So if he was to, after a show, close his eyes, meditate, see what comes up, see what thoughts he's having, see what feelings are coming up, even the next day, he'd be able to figure out, is this something I like enough to keep doing even if I'm not successful? So I think the problem is we keep chasing without thinking and without feeling. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. You just keep going because you're chasing that carrot.
Yeah.
And you don't stop to think, well, how is this affecting me? How do I feel? How's my talent level?
Yeah. Like, what does he say? What's like the actual question at the end
How
of it?
do I know if I have what it takes to make it to the top or if it's an unrealistic dream?
Okay, the make it to the top pisses me off anyway, because there's like 10 people who make it to the top. And by the way, what is the top? You know what I mean? Yeah. The top could be selling out Madison Square Garden, but is it? Because Dice Clay sold it out 8 times, and then somebody else is going to sell it out 20 times, and Kevin Hart's going to do it then. So what's the top? I think the question he should be asking is, how do I know if I love it enough to stick with it? I always, I had such a huge ego. I thought I was so great, I didn't care. But I always would ask myself, oh, like, would I do this for free? Yes. Would I do it if I never made it? Yes. This is such a blast? Yes. Like, I think Nick's in that similar category. He wouldn't do it for free because he's poor. But I was like, oh, I had, this drive, but also, ooh, it's a fun hobby even if I don't get paid. Even if I'm just like the guy who makes $20 at whatever club. Cool. So I think he's asking the wrong question. So next. By the way, probably quick because you probably don't have what it takes. Okay, go.
Dear Lisa, I've been married for 4 years, but the past 2 years has been a daily struggle. My husband works long hours and comes home every night angry. When I talk to him, he's snappy and tells me how easy my life is. He hates his job, and I've told him to find something else, but he refuses to. We've tried couples counseling and even a small break from each other, but he continues to treat me like crap. I still care about him, but I can't continue to be treated this way. How do I know when it's time to give up on this marriage?
Oh, God, I am the wrong person to ask because I hated marriage. I fucking hated it. I remember looking at Jimmy, and it wasn't his fault, and just being like, why is he here? Let me fucking die. I got him his own apartment at one point because I was like, no, it'll be cute. It's like a man cave. You can just hang out there. It's like, I hate you. I just hated living with someone. So I'm bad to ask about this stuff. You're a married guy. You've been married twice. We've all been married twice. Celia's been married 4 times. Yeah. What do you think? Is this even about her quitting, or is it just like, hi, I don't want my spouse to abuse me anymore?
Yeah, it sounds like she just doesn't want to feel like shit every day.
Yeah.
And if she has to continue being shit every day, it's not going to last. But
yeah, and it's also like honestly so impossible to tell someone to quote get out of there, because first of all, there's finances that we don't know about. Suppose there's kids. That adds a thing in. I mean, it sounds silly, but there's animals, there's houses. Like, it'd be easy enough for me to walk out on any marriage because I'm set up. I wasn't always, but I'm like, okay. But like, could I have looked at my parents, for instance, just as an example, and been like, Daddy, you should go because Mommy was mad last night? Well, guess what? There's a lot of factors involved that I don't know about. So I think he sounds brutally unhappy as a human and hates his job. I think the bigger question is, why isn't he looking for some job he doesn't hate? And again, that's a privileged point of view because maybe they don't live around. Where do they live? Where do these yahoos live? Sometimes they live in a shitty place that there's no fucking jobs.
Toronto, Ontario.
Oh, there's jobs in Toronto, you fucking loser douche. Stop yelling at your wife. The thing he needs to quit is that job, get a new one, and stop blaming her for his shitty life. Or do you think sometimes he just secretly doesn't like her? Maybe he doesn't like her. And he's like, just because I don't like that he says to her, her life is, quote, easy. Like, why?
Yeah, that's just dick.
Do they have kids? Did they mention that?
No, it doesn't look like they have kids.
Well, I mean,
they don't mention it.
And she should work.
Yeah.
I'm not big into the housewife thing, to be honest with you. Like, if you have kids, I get it. Stay home with them, God bless. But the lady who's the homemaker, like, we're not in the 50s anymore. So I think, you know what I just think both of them? Murder-suicide pact. I think that sounds perfect. And I will not quit that. Okay, next letter.
Dear Lisa, I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
Oh, more relationship. See, this stuff, I'm no expert.
He's kind, he's loyal, nothing is wrong. I just feel numb. We don't fight, we don't grow, we just exist. How do you leave something that isn't bad, just no longer right, without feeling like a selfish monster?
Oh, God. I remember once I was at the therapist and I said, this guy asked me out, and I forget what it was. And he's fine. And at the time you could say this, she goes, listen, there's lots of fine people out there. Homeless people are fine. You wouldn't want to date one, which that's an unwoke therapist, but she fucking was right. But yeah, just because someone's fine, it's almost worse that he's fine. I'd rather date the jerk off who's yelling that I'm a lazy cunt at home, because at least there's some fire. At least you have some good makeup sex or whatnot. Right, Celia? Just say yes. Just yell yes into that microphone, bitch.
Yes.
But like
Correct.
the whole he's fine, but I'm numb. I think that's a sign to leave, and I'll tell you why. Because indifference is worse than hate. There's no passion. What do you think?
I think exactly that. There's just nothing there. It's just blah. And that's a really terrible way to go through life, because it'll just continue. You just, do less and less until there's,
Like the embers aren't even warm anymore. The fire has gone out. I think we acknowledge, like, as you're with someone longer, it's no longer like a raging hormone bonfire, but there should be a little flame once in a while. Yeah. But this, like, you can almost sense I see the wood crumbling, ashy, and going, the fire is indeed out. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible relationship, but it's so much harder to break up with somebody who isn't an asshole. Like, I've had that where I've had boyfriends who I'm just like, I wish, and I didn't mean this, but I wish he'd just cheat on me. I wish he'd just hit me, because then you'd have every reason to leave. But they don't give you a solid reason. Did you ever have anybody cheat on you? You must have, right?
Not that I know of.
Oh,
but,
they did.
I'm not that smart. I don't see signals,
Yeah.
I not that I know of.
Were you a cheat at all?
No.
Never?
No. No, I would just get out of it,
Yeah, that's smart.
Because I'm a guilt-ridden.
That's true.
I can't live with myself if I do something like that.
Remember one night at the diner, we were talking about cheating, and I just go, listen, man, one thing I'm really proud of is I never cheated. And I go, well, except in 8th grade, I made out with the guy who was number 1 on the tennis team, but I was dating the number 2. So, but that was justified. And then I go, well, and that guy in high school. And like, I think, other than Jimmy Big Balls, I think I have cheated on, just making out, every single guy I ever dated. And I'm like, I tell myself the story, I'm not a cheat, but I'm a big fucking cheat. So I say, hey, lady, cheat on your husband or break up with him. That's the only 2 answers. Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
Correct. Okay, last letter.
Dear Lisa, my best friend keeps repeating the same toxic cycles. She's always talking or dating her ex, who is terrible.
Ugh.
She complains about him 24/7, and I've listened, supported, and coached for years, and nothing changes. I've told her not to run to me when he hurts her again, but she doesn't listen. How do I stop letting her stuckness drain me? Rachel, 27, Denver.
Oh, drained in Denver is what we'll call it, Rachel. Well, I'm going to answer different than she wants me to. Guess who needs to quit? You thinking, oh, Lisa's going to say she should quit the boyfriend. No! Rachel, you got to quit being an unpaid coach to this crazy cunt. It reminds me of that episode of Sex and the City. Now, I know you, Andrew, probably did not watch Sex and the City.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So was it to learn about women and how
I
they
had
were?
girlfriends that liked it, so I'd watch it with them.
They always do. Well, there was one episode where Carrie goes to have lunch with Mr. Big, and they have already broken up, and he's hurt her deeply. And Miranda, arguably the most annoying character on the show, says, well, if he's gonna fucking hurt you again, don't come to me and tell me. And they have a huge fight. Well, Miranda was right. Quit being their unpaid coach and therapist. Tell them, figure your stuff out. You're not going to drain me. Feel free to talk about this when I have the energy. But the person who needs to do the work is not the chick dating the weird guy. it's this unpaid life coach, Rachel, because she's getting pissed off and drained, and she doesn't have to do that. But there's something in her that loves being drained by it. She loves that her friend's the problematic one. She's the little Miranda fix-it gal, and she gets to be the smarter one who probably gossips about her a lot. I'm guaranteeing you she talks about it to the other friends. So I say, Rachel, stop being a big yenta and just stop letting your friend drain you. It's your own fault. If you're being drained, it's your own problem. Am I right, Andrew?
You're right.
Of course I'm right. When have I been wrong? Celia, I imagine you've had friends complain and have been draining. I imagine you are a
I
big
am
drainer.
the one.
Oh, you're the
Yeah.
drainer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what would you advise?
I was talking about this with my roommates the other night about like friends who will complain about the same guy for years and years and years and never cut it off. They're aware that it's wrong, and
Yes.
I am 1000% a person who does that.
Right.
Like on the non-receiving end, I do that.
Yeah,
bad.
because you're like obsessed with Harry Styles and Finn Homo from whatever the fuck
Don't
stranger
expose
homos.
me. What if like we actually date?
You
Like,
won't.
can't-
What's his name? Finn what?
Wow.
I love how I don't
Wow.
know that show.
No. I'm saying wow to you saying no, you won't.
Yeah,
How do
well,
you know?
Because they're stars. I'm
a star.
No, we need to had to write down we're going to do a show on being realistic and
Okay.
within your budget. No, it's just
yeah,
like
that's not me.
But it's a fantasy.
See, maybe I'm just crazy. I like could see it happening. Like
Well,
I could see us
okay.
getting along. Like he'd be like, oh, like you're really pretty, and I'd be like, yeah, like
I do like that confidence. Do you really feel that way?
no.
Oh well,
I think my personality is beautiful, so I feel like that could probably really, really reel him in.
yeah, no. I think you're a pretty girl. I'm not saying do you
thanks.
think you're pretty. Do you honestly in real life think to yourself, yeah, it's possible?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Not about Harry Styles because like that's obvious.
Why?
I already met him and he didn't fall in love with me.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
you
but
have
I
evidence.
also was like 100 pounds heavier. So I'm like, give me
Because
another
he's
chance.
fatphobic, famously.
Probably.
Yes.
So like, give me another chance, and it would happen. Like I am convinced. Wow. That I
Oh,
could.
to have the confidence of a 23-year-old in New York City. Isn't that nice? I think that's what weight loss does for people, and why, even though we all know ethically and morally that fat is as good as thin, people, when they lose weight, they get this reinvigorated sense of life. Is this because of the weight loss?
No.
Oh, you're such a fucking liar.
I don't know actually.
Well, you
I mean,
do.
that's a good question.
You do agree because you said before he probably judged
Well,
you.
because I hate my picture with him because I look so foul and just pudgy and big, and I'm like, all I want to do is post that picture everywhere, and I don't want that picture of me anywhere.
Can't you just Photoshop skinny Celia?
I could
in?
try, but like the background was so complicated that I think you would see all of this stuff like stretched in the back.
Oh, that is bad.
Oh, but sorry, to answer your question, I think that what was the question?
While you're draining people talking about
Yeah,
boyfriends,
my life, myself.
like, how would it be if your friends go, look, we love you, we're just not going to talk about this anymore?
Wait, remember when that did happen to me?
That's what I'm asking. Refresh people who haven't heard. She had a full-on meltdown, but how would the new Celia act now that you're all fixed? You wouldn't go off on them.
No, and I don't think I did go off on them. I think I went off on myself. But if anything, I'd just be like, okay, well then that person isn't the right person to talk to.
Right,
You find a new one.
right. And just keep draining as you
not-
go down the line of
Not a
people.
new one. Just go through your circle of people and be like, all right, who would understand this and who would like give me good advice about this instead of this other person who clearly doesn't care about what you're talking about or honestly is exhausted from it.
Right.
Just find someone else.
So you just exhaust one and then you move on to the next, exhaust them, and pretty soon it's down to just complaining on the podcast.
Or you hit
You're
the
welcome.
jackpot and you have a friend who doesn't get exhausted by you and will listen and give you advice on anything, which I'm very grateful to have.
Look at the happy ending that we have facilitated for Celia. I take full credit for that.
Honestly,
because she's
you
talking
should.
about me. I'm the person she drains. Just kidding.
Probably one of like 32 per day.
You're not that bad. Have you really, though, done the endless complaining about a certain man?
It's been like, I'm 23.
Yeah.
It's been like 14 15 years of
The same freaking guy? Okay, I'm going to kill myself. We're going to do
exactly.
Okay,
That's why
we'll
I
be
was like, I'm
back
not
at
gonna
some
tell you.
point. No, we got to hear about this at some point.
I don't
Still
think you want
obsessed.
to.
Have you ever dated him as well?
I don't want to answer that.
Okay, we're going to dig into that.
My mom
Future
listens to
episode,
this.
Fixing Celia, part 72. Anyway, Andrew Ginsburg, thank you so much for being here today. Did you have fun?
I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and thank me for telling you to quit comedy.
Thank you.
You're welcome, because I just want people to know that I did the right thing by not keeping my mouth shut. And the book, once again, children's book, is called The Colors of My Sky. It is not racist because there's no black butterfly named Malik anymore.
Nope.
You can pre-order it on Amazon. K through 3 will love it, and just get it because it'll touch your little soul. I have to do that Nick thing that he always does. Thanks for listening. If you have letters, send them to shrinkthishow@gmail.com and listen on the iHeart app or wherever you find your podcasts. Bye. Oh, f- you.